Hey guys, sorry about the video quality, sorry about the lack of production value, but I'm pretty pissed and I think that I'd like to get this out to the world. Um, this is going to be kind of a long story about dealing with a company that I thought had my best interest at heart. And I have come to find that they don't. Being a manager for as long as I have been, I should have known better. But being retired for 2 years, I kind of let go of my management roots and kind of slid into a customer setting. And in that, I haven't really dealt with this situation very well. And the situation is with Flagship Acceptance Corporation. Now, in January of 2020, I entered into a contract with Flagship Acceptance on the purchasing of a 2020 Toyota Tacoma. And I know that Flagship, being a C level, B level lender in the industry, I knew that this meant a higher down payment. I knew that it meant higher monthly payments. I knew it meant longer terms. And I figured as long as I stayed within the terms, there wouldn't be a problem. And I was retired and I had already budgeted for that amount of money for the vehicle. So in those situations, I made the determination to go ahead and sign the loan. And I'm going to say that for the first portion of the loan, it was phenomenal. I would make my payments and no problems. And when anything changed, they would be notified. Now, when COVID-19 hit, I medically retired from my job. So I am now retired. And in the retirement, I left my home state of California and I moved to Oregon. So, like everybody does when they move, they change their addresses, all of those things. Contact their lenders, let them know this is my new address, file a change of address with whoever, which I did. I contacted Flagship when I moved, advised them of my new address, and advised them that I would be changing over the title on my vehicle, or that I would need to change over the title of my vehicle so I could register the vehicle in the state of Oregon. And I was advised that when I was ready to do that, to give a call, and they would be more than happy to help me out. So September, I retired May 15th. I moved June 1st. So September of 2020, I went on to the DMV website, and of course, COVID-19 restrictions, this, that, and the other. The next available appointment was December 2nd in my hometown. I could go to other towns, but I opted to stay in my hometown. So December 2nd comes, and I paid all of my registration fees and everything, and I was advised that I would need to contact my lien holder and have a copy of the title changed over. They gave me a copy of the paper with the request, and all I had to do was fill it out and put a copy of the receipt showing that it was paid and send it to them. Also, there is a usage tax that needs to be paid in the state of Oregon that I found out later. But that's deeper into the story. So I got everything together and I called Flagship. And I was advised of the department that I needed to send this information to. Now, I'm not going to name the department because I don't know what the legalities of that are. I'm not even sure what the legalities of this video are, but this is my First Amendment right. I'm going to throw it out there. But anyway, so they sent me to the proper department, and I emailed all of my information, and I emailed a request to have this situation taken care of. And I received a response. At this point, I can't tell you if it was on the phone or in the email. Either way, I received a response that they would take care of it. And if there was any problem, they would contact me, and they verified my, not only my current phone number, but they verified my email address, all of that. So at this point, I think everything's cool. I go on with my life. I'm making my payments, I'm driving my truck, even though the tags are now expired. Pretty happy in the feeling that I've taken care of everything. So about 6 weeks goes by. We're about the end of February of 2020. And I'm kind of getting that feeling that maybe something might be wrong. Plates aren't here yet. So I contacted the Department of Motor Vehicles. And of course, they have their beautiful waiting music. But in that waiting music, there are breaks where they give out messages of, we're going to be closed on this holiday, or we're going to be closed on this date in observance of, or those type of messages. In February, there was a message that stated that all title activities, please allow 14 to 16 weeks of processing time due to COVID-19, and they asked for the additional processing time, mostly because they were receiving a large amount of mail-ins because of COVID-19. So basically they were asking for 14 to 16 weeks. This was February. I'd started it in January. So I figured, okay, 14 to 16 weeks. COVID-19, everybody's going to have problems. So I waited until May, 5 months actually 6 months from the official start time of December 2nd, 2020. And when I called, or when I contacted, I talked to customer service, and I said, I need to speak to somebody in indirect titles. And of course, you need to email, this, that, and the other. I need to find out what's going on with this thing. So long story short, I'm put into the queue, and all of a sudden I get a call back. And in that call back, it was kicked back. We need this, this, and this. So they give me a list of the things that they need. And once again, I go off and I get these things, and I send them back via email. And the next day I'm given a call, and it's, okay, we're processing this now, we are going to request your title from our titles department. We don't keep our titles here in-house. Once it's there, I will go ahead and FedEx it, and hopefully this will expedite your problem. And I will follow up on it, and if there are any more problems, I'll let you know. This is May. So I go on to keep paying my payments and this, that, and the other. At this point, my registration has been expired for 6 months. Now, I'm a little worried to drive the truck because of the fact that there is no registration. There's no real end in sight that this thing is going to be fixed. And here we are. So And this is starting to become a hardship because now we're having to do all of our transportation with one vehicle and work schedules and this, that, and the other. Because we really don't want to put the truck out on the road due to the fact that it's brand new. And to be honest with you, we didn't want to pay for the impound fees if somebody decided they wanted to impound it for the violation. So anyway, waiting the 14 to 16 weeks of processing time that I had been informed of, in the month of October, I finally contacted the Department of Motor Vehicles, October of 2021. And I contacted them and I asked them, what is the situation with my registration? And I was advised by the Department of Motor Vehicles that they had yet to receive the title from my lien holder, Flagship, so they could release the plates and the registration. Yet I've already taken care of this in May. And I started the process in December. So at this point, I am, for lack of a better term, I'm mad. So I contact Flagship. And through the channels, I am put back in touch with the same person that I spoke to in January and the same person I spoke to in May, who are all one of the same person. And I am immediately met with a barrage of, I'm sorries, I don't know what the delay was. This state's kicking it back for this state is delayed because of that, blah, blah, blah. Hundreds of excuses. So immediately this person, and I'm going to say this, reorders my title. If you ordered it back in May, why are you reordering it now? If you did all of this, and you said you did it, there should be a tracking number for the FedEx package that was sent in May. Where is it? It was reordered. And immediately I was told, blah, 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 blah. I'm going out on a 3-day weekend, but when I come back on Monday, I will get the tracking number and I will send it to you so we avoid this problem again. So Monday comes. I waited all day. I checked the email. It didn't come. I waited Tuesday. I checked every day for 14 days. Now, at this point, somebody's going to say, did you call them? No, I didn't. And the reason I didn't call them is they've already lied to me twice. So I'm going to waste my time on the phone for 40 minutes to be lied to again. No. So in November's payment time comes around, and I did not make my payment. And of course, the collections department does what the collections department does. Hi, this is Flagship. You're X number of days past due for a total amount of this amount. How do you plan on paying for this today? I don't. What? I don't plan on paying it today. You are in breach of contract. You have not serviced this contract, and therefore I am not paying for it. Period. End of story. I have explained this story about 45 times to different sales reps, to different supervisors, to different departments, that this is the situation. Finally, this last Monday, 4 days ago, as a matter of fact, it was February 1st of 2022 now, that I spoke to the customer service department and I let go. I exploded. I was emotional. You've hurt me in this way, you've hurt me in that way, you've hurt me in the other way, which is not that customer service rep's fault. All they're doing is picking up the phone trying to get somebody to pay their bill. They don't know the situation, especially since they probably haven't read the entire file. And if they had, you're being sent because you're good enough to maybe you can be the one to get them to pay. Either way, however it happened, an email went out. I re-talked to titles about the title. I talked to everybody I needed to talk to. I was on the phone for over an hour. The only thing that came out of that hour is they forwarded everything to a manager. Now, the funny thing is that when all of this happened, since then I've received 4 telephone calls from Flagship Acceptance. Since the first 4 calls. One was to attempt to collect on the account that's 76 days past due right now. And that poor customer service rep got an earful. And of course, it was referred to a supervisor. And, oh, we will take you off the call list, the collections list. We're sorry. My response is, that's not what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a manager to call me to discuss this option, what's going on, to discuss my complaint. I am sending an email right now to my VP and my director advising them that you're waiting for this call. Well, today is Friday. It is currently 2:00 in the afternoon in Oregon, which means with the time frame, it is past business hours in Coppell, Texas. And once again, no call. Nothing. Dead quiet. And that's okay. Because I know that there are options. I have now talked to the National Center of Dispute Resolution, who is the arbitrators for a case like this, through the binding arbitration of their contract. That's simple. And it will cost me $650 to get this on file and go to arbitration, which we are going to do now. We didn't have to go to arbitration on this, guys. We didn't. All they had to do was talk to me. All they had to do was say, let's make this right. We see that we are outside the parameters of reasonable time frame. We see that you have been affected by this. Let us make this better for you. That's all they had to do. Stop enforcement. That's all they had to do. I will tell you what they did. I have yet to speak to a manager. They have reported it to my TRW, which has dropped, they reported to all 3 of my credit reports, which has dropped each one of my credits scores 65 points. 65 points. And those numbers are going down. My wife and I were in the middle of getting our credit repaired so we could do a debt consolidation loan so we could buy our retirement home. We were going to pay off all of our debt with one debt consolidation loan. When this hit my TRW, or when this hit my credit report, we were declined for that loan, which means we now cannot get into our home. And we are going to fight this for the next however long it takes for it to be fixed to hopefully have enough time to where we can enjoy our retirement home. Is that going to happen? I don't know. And I know a lot of lawyers and credit people and everything who's going to watch this are going to say, you should have never stopped your payments. You're right. I probably shouldn't have. However, it was the quickest way to have this problem addressed. Where this goes from here is dependent on how they respond. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to sue somebody. I don't care. I want to be retired. I want to hang out. I want to relax. I want to enjoy my kids, my grandkids. I want to enjoy my hobbies. I don't want to sit here for hours and hours and hours and worry about what's the next move I have to make to protect me and my family from this situation. This situation has exacerbated my post-traumatic stress, which is diagnosed, by the way. This isn't just I'm saying I'm stressed. I'm diagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm retired from the U.S. military for it. And this exacerbates it. Every single time I have to get on this phone and have to relive this and deal with this and re-explain this, it puts me in a heightened state. And that's not good for my family. And it's definitely not good for me and not good for my health. And I feel that the only way that this is going to be resolved is going to be an arbitration. Now, some people will say I'm right and some people will say I'm wrong in how I handled this. And that's fine. It still does not excuse the fact that this corporation is in breach of contract and acting as if they are not, as if I am in breach of contract. They are going to come and they are going to repossess this truck. I know they are, and I have fully prepared for it. And I have paid my money to open the arbitration, and we're probably going to go down that road. Will I win? I don't know. I think I believe that the key is going to be showing what a reasonable amount of time to process this request would have been, and that they not only exceeded that time, they've doubled and tripled it depending on how you look at it, be it by COVID standards or by the state law. Either way, it's a violation. So, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. And I don't know where it's going to go. Like I said, this is just the stage where they are now refusing to talk to me. So I know where I'm going next on this. But if you're having a problem like this, leave a comment. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out. The simple fact of the matter is the only way that this is going to change is if it's forced to change. And the only way to force it to change is to make them explain themselves. And as a consumer, the best way to do that is going to be through arbitration. Explain yourself. If I'm wrong, show me I'm wrong. But I'm not. And if I'm right, you need to compensate for my correctness and for your inactivity. That simple. So, I don't know where this is going to go, guys, but I will tell you this. I'm going to keep posting on it. If you like it. In part 2, we'll discuss what actual damages have been caused in this and why we are moving forward. And I know that somebody from Flagship Acceptance Corporation is probably watching this right now. I was willing to negotiate. I waited. I waited my time frames. I waited for you, and you have yet to step forward. So fine. And I guess we'll see what happens. I promise I'll keep posted as things happen. But if you've had a problem, post. Click, like, post. Let Flagship know. Let these big corporations know you cannot act with impunity any longer. That's all. That's the only way we're going to stop them from doing this. Hold them accountable. This is me holding you accountable.